Found met a mountain man. Been saying I was gonna do it. Well, I am. I'm gonna give her a honest to goodness, truthful review of this Pelican Catch Mode 110. I've seen reviews in the past on different kayaks. They will give all the pros in the beginning. They will give all the pros at the end. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a pro and a con as I go through it, because I don't want to do one. You watch the first half of the video and say that's what I need, and miss the second half of the video with the cons, and you know what? I should have never got it. I want to describe this. This kayak is 10'8". If I'm not mistaken, it's 34.5 inches wide. If I remember correctly, it is 64 pound empty. I got this kayak for river catfishing. I say that at the very beginning of this review because there are certain things that I look for in a kayak, in this kayak, that I wanted. And open design was one of them. One of the main things. Open design with plenty of leg room so I can actually land a catfish. I'll go over from one end to the other, pro and con. Here we go. This right here is what you call a skeg. Some people may wonder what a skeg is. A skeg is a rudder that does not steer. Real simple. This plate has 3 bolts. Here, here, and here. And this plate you can actually take off, and the skeg, you know, comes off with it. And it is available. What is available to you is somewhere to mount your trolling motor. I'll never use it. Just letting you know. This skeg is as simple as it gets. There's nothing but bungee cord that runs through. You can actually pull this over to the side. Of course, I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time. But you pull this over to the side, and that is all there is to it. It's bungee corded, snaps into place. This pulls back over. This goes into here, latches into place. When you don't want to use it, you flip it up. Simple design, awesome design. Do I like it? Yes, because without it, completely honest, this kayak tracks terrible. What I mean by that is if you have the paddle on the right hand side and you push off, you're gonna make a left hand turn. There's no doubt about it. And the same on the opposite. You got your paddle on the left hand side of the kayak and you push off, you're gonna make a right hand turn. I wish that it did track better than it did, but it doesn't. But believe it or not, you can take this and flip down into the water. The water level comes to about right here. It helps tremendously with the tracking. Now, I bought this kayak to river catfish. So tracking overall really doesn't matter a whole lot to me because I'm in current. I'm left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I'm going upstream or downstream to get to a particular location to catfish. If I were a bass fisherman, well, it would be a whole different story. This back area, bungee cord. I've had this kayak, I'd say a little over a month. I think I've had 2 bass fishing trips and 3 catfishing trips. The cord has already faded. The strength of it has not gone down at all. Disappointed? Yeah. Does it matter? Not really. Not to me. I've tried to find a cooler that would fit in this area, and I can't really do it because I'm not looking at the high dollar coolers. I don't need something to keep catfish cold for 7 days. I'm going out, I'm catfishing, I'm bringing them back, and I'm cleaning them. But the area is a whole lot larger than what I'm used to. I really, really like the open area. Rod holders. You have one here, and as you can see, you have one here. Both rear facing. Do they come in handy? Yes. Your side handles. My older kayak had rope handles. Now these are sturdy, but this has been in the sun 2-3 hours, and I don't know if you can see it, There's a good bit of wiggle to that plastic. Does that mean that it is coming off? No. But I want it to be known that these handles are riveted. They're not screwed down. To me, they're a whole lot less sturdy than ones that would be screwed down. It's not a make or break for me, but I will say that I do have rope on each side of my kayak to tie off to fallen trees, roots or whatever that are on the side of the river that I can tie off to. Your rod holder, your paddle holder, that's what it's for. There's a groove, well, right here, where your paddle can go across and you can snap it into place. Simple design. I guess it works fine. I wouldn't know. I don't use it. 9 times out of 10 when I'm catfishing, I've got a rod in my rod holder there, or a rod right here. Sometimes I attempt to fish with 3. But the paddle is laid in this direction with the end between my feet that are on the rest. I never use this. Is it good? Yes. Does it serve the purpose? Yes. Does it make or break it for me? No. When I'm catfishing, I'm as simple can get, because it's a basic rig, Santee rig. I've got hooks, my plastic beads, corks, weights, barrel swivels, and hooks of several different sizes in that container. That one container slides underneath this seat. I don't have a tackle box per se, tackle bag that I bring with me. That is why you see a cooler up here and this cooler up here. But that one box slides underneath. Out of sight, out of mind. The seat, I'll put it to you like this. Is it comfortable? Yes. Well, is it comfortable? Yes. Is it stable? Are you going to fall out of the kayak? No, you're not. But I will show you. There's probably 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch gap on the end of each of your rods mounted to the seat. If I'm sitting in a kayak in a river flowing and I'm bouncing up and down, even as tight as you get this, it's going to move side to side. But being in a river where I'm moving up and down, and I'm, like I said, I'm catfishing. I'm not on calm water feeling for a light tap and trying to swing up or to the side to set a hook as if I was bass fishing. Is it aggravating? Yes. Is it a deal breaker for me? No, it's not, because like I said, I've got rod holders and I'm waiting for the end of that 6 to 7 foot rod. I'm waiting for it to go down. I'm not twitching a top water or anything like that seriously in this kayak. I'll use my other kayak for it. So one of the simplest ways is to take rubber butt stops that you would put on the end of bar stools so they would not scratch the floor. And that will take up some of the room that I'm speaking of here and keep the wiggle side to side, keep it from shifting. It's not a deal breaker for me because of what I said. Now, this seat, it flips down. Well, that means you have a lower position and an upper position. A lot of kayaks have a low and a high seating position here, which means this end would go down, this end would come up. You can angle them on some kayaks. This is flat, straight across, low position, sit in the seat, or low position, sit on this seat. I say that to let it be known that in a lot of other kayaks you have a low and high seating position. That is 1 inch to 2 inch to 3 inch. I just want you to see, you see the height of this kayak, the height of the seat. When I say low, that's low, and that's high. there is no 1-2 inch difference. You're actually almost sitting on the kayak, or you get a feeling of you're almost you're almost gonna get a nosebleed because you're high in a deer stand. Yes, it has a high and a low, but the high and the low is 6 inches difference. This seat is nice. It is hard. It is padded with the same, I guess you would call it, neoprene padding that is in the front up here. Very hard, and no back to it. So would a bass fisherman use it sitting down? Maybe. Do I? No, except for one thing. When I paddle over to a sandbar and I want to put the side of the kayak on the edge of the sandbar, I will flip this down and sit on it because of the way I'm fishing. If I'm out in a flowing river, I'm sitting like that. So does it come in handy? Yes. Once again, is it a deal breaker to me? No, it's not. The mat, the rubberized neoprene, I guess you would call it, flooring, it's very tacky. The hotter it is, the tackier it is. So, now don't get me wrong, I don't know any kayak that has any kind of neoprene padding that does not get hot. So, it's not a pro or a con, it's just saying, if you're out in direct sunlight in June and July and you slip off your Crocs, if you're barefoot, you slip off whatever you're wearing and put it down on this, be aware, your foot will sizzle. It has a sticky, and I hate to do it, but as you can see, once you get in this type of heat, it will peel up. That is definitely a con. It's not that I did not know that it would not be self-adhesive, but I did think that it would stay a whole lot more secure than it does. Now, I physically had to peel that up. I have not had to peel, or have no reason to peel it up. But, here you go. It will peel right up. Sooner or later, some repair has to be done to it. You've got these two areas right here that are made for water bottles. I've got 2 coolers. Anybody that fishes in the summer is going to have 1 cooler. One of those coolers has got to have ice packs, ice, or something to the effect of where you would keep a drink. I don't see the need for 2 of them. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather have 2 than not have any. But I'm a right-handed fisherman. I would, since I'm right-handed facing this direction, I would like this to stay as is. But if I had an option, I do wish that this would be molded from here around in that circle to this height with a screw top container. You could drop your keys in it, you could put your wallet in it, and be watertight, screw on top on this side. Need something to drink? My water bottle would be right there. I think that is overkill. That's just the way I look at it. These gear tracks, they serve the purpose, which is all they're intended to do. I do wish that they were in a different position. This rod holder being here, that's fine. I'm gonna flip this up and show you. Now, I'm not a big man. I'm a little under 6 foot, close to 200 pounds. The footrests you see right there are where I keep them at, 2 to 3 notches from the end. Well, with my seat the way it is, and this rod holder slid all the way back, I still have to lean forward 6-8 inches to get my rod out of that rod holder. I understand with this being here that this had to be in front of it. Fully understood. But as far as this side, I do wish that this track would come to say here If it was twice as long as it is, and I could put this here, I would love it. I like it right now, but if it was further back, I do believe it would be a whole lot better. As far as your rod, as far as your foot tracks, your foot pegs, as you can see, they're not screwed, they're riveted. I'm not really crazy about that. I knew that when I bought it, but it is something that I will have to upgrade in the future for sure. Not that I sit in the seat and I'm pressing as hard as I can against these. There's no reason to, but it would be, to me, better peace of mind. Going up front, this came with the kayak. Here, 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 and here. Now, if you don't have a cooler up front and just a cooler behind, and you've got a relatively large tackle box, this is the area for it. Like I said, this is why I got this kayak, the amount of leg room and actual storage. The fact that it does not have any dry storage whatsoever, it's not a con to me, it's a pro. Because if you don't take the time, energy, and effort to make dry storage, you can take the time, energy, and effort to make more open deck storage. I've got that cooler up here, so I don't really use this. It is bungee, and I don't know why. I have used it, I'd say half of the trips that I've taken this out on. And as you can see, the bungee cord itself, still plenty of spring to it. It's not nearly as faded as the others. It is what it is. As long as it serves a purpose, I'd like it to look better, but I'm a function type of guy. Always have been. I do want you to know this. What this is for your paddle when it does lay across the groove that I showed you earlier. The paddle end to go in here. Does it work? Probably. I don't use it. As far as this, I probably will use this when I only am using one cooler. This area right here, a 4-man tent laid here. Cooking kit right here. This area is large enough where if you're 1 or 2 person, you can carry camping gear up here and hold it in place with this. I want this to be known. If you're sitting in that seat and you're like me, you reel in and you lay your rod tip down, if you do happen to buy this kayak for bass fishing, let me tell you, if you take a treble hook and lay it anywhere, it is gonna catch every single place on this. It's fine mesh, and I do not know why, but a treble hook will find its way into it very, very quickly. I wish it wasn't so, but it is what it is. These they've got here for rod tip protectors. They are screwed in, not riveted. That's a plus. But I want to show you this. I fish with 7-foot rods for catfishing, and it is a tight fit. It would not be nearly as tight if I had a bait casting reel or a smaller reel itself to fit down in this area. But if you're fishing with anything over, say 7 foot, and you want to keep your rod in here, many catfishing rods are 7 foot, 7'6". It's not really a rod tip protector as much as it is a rod holder. So does it serve the purpose? Yes. Its original purpose, not really. But I would rather have these being held underneath that. So if I'm paddling up against a stump on the side of a river to tie off, I do not have these stuck out like this. Anybody who catfishes knows, you go to paddle up to something, these are going to catch everything. So I do like them. They could be better. if there was an improvement, I would leave these here and take another one this size and put it right here. Front handle, rivet, not screwed. The way I load this up into my vehicle, I load it back end first, and I let this stick out over my laid down tailgate. I do not have a trailer for it. I take a ratchet strap and go over the handle under, and I attach on either side of my tailgate. So much pressure pushing on this, I've had no problems. I want to make sure it stays that way. What I actually did was buy like a cargo net that I can attach on each side of the tailgate to hold it in place. Trying to cover everything as best I can. Compared to my other kayak, which is like a single hull, this 55 pounds is what this kayak weighs empty, and when you grab that front handle and drag it through sand, it feels it weighs twice as much because that front end digs into the sand. Like I was saying, if I'm not mistaken, this is 64 pound, and because of the front design of it, try to get a view, you've got 3 different areas. It's a whole lot flatter on the bottom. So even though it weighs slightly more, and I will load it down with a whole lot more, it does glide easy. It does glide over rocks. That doesn't mean that the rocks don't gouge into the bottom. I don't know about the wear on the bottom. We'll find out in due time. But it's trying to cover every area that a fisherman that not only fishes, but a fisherman that fishes and keeps the fish. I have so many ideas, I believe relatively innovative ideas that you could do to this kayak. It would turn it into a good serviceable kayak and to a monster of a catfishing machine. I guess on a score of 1 to 10 for what I use it for, I would probably give it a 7.5, if I'm being completely honest. There are just little things about it, nuances, however you want to word it, that I can and will modify it over time. Some things, such as size of coolers and whatnot, I can modify this by choosing round tubing and weld underneath this tubing to raise the seat up to where this seat is, say, 2 inches taller than it is now, without being in the stadium nosebleed section by sitting on top with no backrest. That's something I will do. It does come with 4 scupper plugs. They are the cheapest scupper plugs I've ever seen. Cheaply made, but I can actually say when you push them in the hole, they block the water. That's their purpose. If they don't look good doing it, so be it. These little bungees on the side, as you can see, that is where I keep my scupper plugs. I keep a small Leatherman here, and it is nothing but a Walmart brand, but it works just the same. Scale through this. I did want to show that. This is a real plus. If you're sitting down like this, you can take pliers and slide into here, or here, or here, or take one handle of your pliers and sit through here with the opening up, the cutting end up. But they do have a little pocket right here, and these little bungees right there. I use this side right here and angle that toward the center. When I get a catfish, pick him up, get him into the kayak itself, this right here is really accessible. Really accessible. It did sound like I was talking down upon this mat being adhesive and peeling up. I will say this, as much catfish slime as I had on this, with river sand, catfish slime, 90-degree heat, tackiness, in the heat, it still maintains its grip. I was very surprised at how grippy it stays, even with catfish slime, river sand, and water. I will say that it does grip the bottom of your footwear a whole lot better than I thought it would be. Slime is slime and fish is fish, but I don't know what it is about catfish slime. I mean, it is the slickest, some of the slickest stuff you'll ever run across. But I did want to give an honest review. Like I said, 7.5 for a catfisherman that keeps the catfish that he catches. For a brim fisherman or a bass fisherman, this kayak, can you stand up in it? Yes, I can stand up in it if I'm on a pond with no wind. Do I want to stand up in it? No, I do not. I'm not necessarily worried about falling out of it. I just don't like sketchy situations. I would say blah, 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 X brand, Y brand is a whole lot more stable. I couldn't tell you. This is the first kayak I've ever had that had that much room that I was told that I could stand up in it. But, once again, if you're sitting here, your feet are here, really no problem standing up. But if you are sitting here, you're literally, your butt is almost where your feet are. And as you can see, it does not have a pull-up strap that you could hold here and pull yourself up with. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. I bought it to sit on my butt and catch catfish. But this is also a rod holder, paddle holder on the opposite side. I guess, you know, either or. It's not as if you would have two paddles at one time. That is another thing to me that is an overkill with the cup holders. If this was flat right here, and this gear track was moved to here, and I had a short gear track here, I mean, that'd be two rods on one side and a third one is backup. It is what it is. I'm happy with it. Overall speaking, I'm happy with it. 7.5, I'd say, out of 10. Bass fisherman, won't lie to you, it probably is a 5. But that is my honest opinion. How I do carry my paddles when I am going fishing, or transporting, I should say. That's how I carry them. So like I said, I don't use the ones on the side at all. But I hope this helped you either say yes, I definitely got to have that, or no, I think I'll pass on it. But it is an honest, straight up review of the Pelican Catch Mode 110. Talk to y'all later.